Looks like a boardroom of some sort. This looks like a street with some buildings, and looks like a garage of some sort where you can drive your car down and park in there. Lots of crates. One of the nice things is Inkscape has a layer system, so you can store all your crates on one layer and hide them when you want them out of your way. So because it's a server, every job gets sent to me, so I can capture every single file that gets sent through. So Steven here draws a lot of organic shapes. We can do that too with all the Bezier curves. And on November 26th, this is what he did. And then a couple minutes later, I think he did some minor tweaks. There you saw the room kind of, this entire section here kind of shrunk in at 9:13 on the same day. And then 9:33, I think he did some adjustments to that wall. And there he added that canopy section right here to the level. And a couple days later, he added this room. It's got a door there with a ramp going down and windows over there. And the same day, I think he did some operations over there. And some more, he's got some shapes going in that section over there now. You notice that I'm poly reducing some of the, or resampling some of the ovals, so it's more game friendly. And you notice this used to be a square canopy, but now it's a round canopy. And then December 2nd, he has this whole complex system over here. And he did that, I guess, a couple days after that previous drawing. January 1st, I think he adds the stage here with these ramps going in. He deletes it. Then he decides to bring it back. Moves in over here and insets some of this stuff. Maybe it gets in his way. He moved this entire wall forward. And this is what the level looks like. This is running in his engine. So probably 95% of this is Levelshop prototype mesh, and the rest of it is placeable. So he's combining the two. These are different levels. It's not that level that you saw. But just dropping on the placeables so that you can just make sure that the design choices that he made just work out, and you can test out things like lines of sight and all that kind of stuff for his third-person shooter. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology. So this is not a design track. So this is a design track, not a technology track. But if you are a level designer and you like what you see so far, you might take the slide back to your programmers and say, hey, I would like some of this magic. So these are the components. So Inkscape you already saw. You can get it at inkscape.org. It's got binaries for Windows, Linux, and Macintosh. It's open source, and you can get the source code. So you can customize it to your needs, and it's a fantastic program. I can't recommend it enough. It essentially outputs a SVG file, and we use that later on in the pipeline. So the second component is a web service. So I use a basic web stack, Apache, MySQL, Ruby on Rails. This allows all my EA friends to come visit me at that URL, and they can download Inkscape and submit jobs to me. So essentially, it's just a way of transporting the SVG file from their studio to the server that sits in Edmonton, in Canada, if you don't know what Edmonton is. So the website also helps me focus documentation. So I put all my video tutorials there and update my documentations, which probably need updating, because I haven't gotten to that in a while. And the third component is procedural synthesis. So if you notice, I hadn't invented any new file formats. I've just taken the SVG file that Inkscape creates, and it's just a standard, and I've layered on top my own kind of visual markup tagging, and so that a blue line with dots at the end means a floor connector. If I make a room with a dotted line, that's disabling the roof. If I type in the number 5, it sets the height to 5 meters. And that's just something I made up. I call it the Levelshop markup language, and I'm still working on it to try to refine it and simplify it. So Python reads that in, tries to figure it out, makes a mental map of what the level looks like, and then sends it or talks to Houdini. So Houdini is an Academy Award-winning piece of software from Side Effects. and didn't win, I think, on Monday, but it's in the past it's won Academy Awards, and it's been used in countless Hollywood movies. And essentially, I harness that award-winning technology as a command line geometry processor. So I do the heavy lifting of procedural synthesis because my math skills are only up to grade 13, so I can only do so much. So Houdini really helps me. I mentioned I'm a technical artist, right? So I can only do so much math. So this, hopefully you can take this slide back to your programmers, and the first two are simple, and the last one they might scratch their heads, but this is how things work. So we're going to go back to production use. We're going to look at Darkspore. Remember Darkspore, every single level was prototyped with Levelshop. This is a level done by Johans. So it's got like some nested shapes. This was very simple to do nested shapes. You just put -5 and then another -5 there. If you want things to be colored, you just type in blue. Again, that's markup 201, and it turns blue. And there's a lot of ramp action happening. You can walk between these different surfaces. And basically, the Darkspore designers just do a lot of floor plans, and they hit a button, send it to Levelshop, and it emails them a manifest. They drag it directly from their email, this manifest, into their editor. They've done really good integration, and this pops up, and they run around, and they see whether that ramp is good. It gives you a good visual cue about where to walk, and whether this particular level is going to give you enough dynamic gameplay. You notice there's a teleporter down below. It kind of gives you a sense of the fact that you've got to reach that point later on. And there's a lot of fighting action here. They use these white boxes. They place those in their own editor just because it's easier for them to shift those around in real time. This level is Verdansk by Dale. This is built with layers. So floor layers exist in Inkscape. Every single floor layer it gets separated, and the bottom layer is the first floor, and then the next layer is the second floor. And so these are built on different layers. And there's a 10-meter drop from this layer down to this layer. And we're going to, in the video, this is actually real gameplay. We're going to start over here, spin around a couple times, and run down this particular fork of the road and fight some baddies over here. So this is a Viper. He's generally a melee guy, but he has some range attacks because I have a squad of characters that, and one of them has a range attack, and I can utilize those when I'm this character. So you've looked at the mini-map. There's that fork in the road. We're going to go down this one. It's going to descend down 10 meters, and we're going to end up at this platform down below. And there we fight some more baddies. So this is Shrouded Marsh. So the environment artists have done an incredible job of really adding a lot of detail, gnarled tree roots, swampy, wetlands, and the ramps have all this really fine detail on them. This is my nice mech character. This is more angular level, and it's all drawn on a single layer and uses the @ sign to help us offset those different surfaces. And you'll notice that in the game, those angles are preserved because they're important to the strategic gameplay. And if you have a range attack, you can hide over here and thin out your enemy before they are able to reach you. And this is Terminal Haven, a organic level. There's a lot of height changes. Again, this is drawn on one layer, and there's a lot of 10-meter drops to these various stages. Here's my mech character. He's my favorite character. And I get to armor him up with all the stuff I collected. He's got homing missiles, so this fly up here is really hard to get. Without the range, I can missile barrage him. Wander down more of the level. The rock outcroppings really add nice detail to this particular level. when we finish off this guy, we'll see that down below over here, see where we're headed to. So that's that thing that Dale was talking about. There's a moment-to-moment layout guide as to where we should be going. There's a giant S-curve that happened, and that's prototyped entirely in Levelshop.